Hello guys, welcome to Chia's channel. We are the Turnah'S, and today you're gonna learn how we got to meet each other.
I will pray for you in every situation. I will stand by you, my darling, my lover.
You want me to go first? Yeah, sure. Ladies first. So hi everyone. My name is Chinasa Amarachi Turner. I'm used to saying Nkosha, but now it's Turner. Yeah, so I was born and raised in Nigeria, and I'm here in Canada with my amazing husband.
Okay. So my name is Nathaniel Turnah. Of course, I came to Canada many years now, 10 years back. And last year we got married, and that's how this journey began.
Awesome. So when did you guys first meet each other?
I think we met first in 2017.
2017.
At the end of 2017, I would say.
At the end?
Was it love at first sight?
For me, it was interest at first sight.
For me, it wasn't. It wasn't love at first sight.
What was in your mind, Nathaniel, at that time?
I have to be honest. I saw her, and when I saw her, I saw the resemblance to you. I'll be honest, to you, Chia Gomes, and that kind of was interesting to me. And then I wanted to just know more about who she is, like, because I have not really met her, but I knew you because you were attending the church back then in our location. So I just wanted to, I don't know, I wanted to know who she is, and I wanted to just, hi. That's all that was in my mind back
You
then.
wanted to know if it was a duplicate.
My darling, my lover.
You wanna go?
No, you can go first.
Okay. So, I think it's a bit of a journey to even that point. But she was living in Scarborough at some point, going to school here in Scarborough. And I was also here in Scarborough, but I wasn't attending the same church location. My brothers were, but one day, occasionally, my brothers, occasionally. Anyways, one day back then I was doing this health and wellness business. That's how things actually started, because I was interested in talking to people a lot. I was really out there talking. And I saw her one day while I was I would not forget, Lawrence and Markham, when I was about to, I was leaving from the gym, and I was going back home. And I saw her on the same bus while I was going back, and she looked very familiar. And I was like, this is certainly the person I was looking at for all these times. And anyways, I wanted to just, hi, I know you, right? Let's talk. And so then we were talking and all that. So from there, I took her contact. My mind was just focused on making her a business associate. That was my focus. Nothing about marriage, nothing. That was what was really on my mind. But then, of course, through that, we then got to know more about each other. And then, although my focus was more on just business and things like that, I would say it was getting to two years or a year and a half after that time that I was starting to, of course, develop that I would say love for her. Because since then, right, I've just been interested in who she is, how she is, and how she's doing it. But then that love came, I would say, around that time. And I don't know if you want to go from your end, how things then tied together.
Were you developing the same love for him at the same time?
Well, I would say at some point I was having feelings for him, but not Okay, let me actually say my own story. I wasn't really interested in him at the beginning. You know, he wanted to know me, but I wasn't interested in knowing who he was. Like, I really didn't care at that point. Like, I had things going on in my mind. I had like some personal struggles I was going through, so I wasn't really interested in like anybody talking to me or anything. Even though I started praying for marriage at a very young age, but at some point I was like, you know, marriage aside. Then I remember when my auntie decided to go to the church location where he worshipped. I remember him coming to me one Sunday. I think it was the second Sunday after, yeah, it was the second Sunday that he came to me after church, and he was like, "Hi, how are you?" Because that was funny. Anyways, he started talking to me. He wanted to know me. He said, "Hi, how are you?" and everything. I answered him. At that point, I didn't really have interest in him, I think. So I remember as we were going to the church, he's always singing in the choir. He's always, you know, playing the piano. And for me, I love piano. Back to where, you know, it all started. I think he was ministering one day in the church, and the Spirit of God ministered to me, and it was like, he will be your husband. I'm like, no. This guy is so dark. I didn't want it.
It's not my fault. I am from Bayelsa. We are black people.
I wasn't really interested in anything black.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but you know, when you say your idea,
that's a lesson that it might not be the one you like, I'm sure.
anyways, don't feel bad about it, I'm just saying. But I wanted like a tall guy and a light-skinned guy. But yeah, he's tall, but he's not light-skinned, even though he's trying to, he's starting, I don't know, anyways, but.
Not starting that.
Yeah, so when the Spirit of God told me that, I was like, no. This guy will not be my husband. So I remember when I think when your mom came to Canada to visit, when she came with your sister and your brothers. Actually, prior to that, I remember Nathan he moved from Manitoba to Ontario. And then that Sunday, you were like, "Come, I want to introduce you to my brother." And in my mind, I was like, "Why? Like, why do I have to know your brother?" So you introduced me to Nathan, and of course, we exchanged greetings and everything. And then I was now wondering in my mind, I was like, why did he actually introduce me to his brother? So I went to tell my auntie. I was like, see you before people start saying that it's me that, you know, forced a brother to marry me or anything. So I was telling my auntie that, Nathaniel introduced me to his brother today. And my auntie being smart, she was like, if Nathaniel wants to marry, you should go to marriage committee.
I will pray for you and never.
It was me, actually.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. I think that was around 2021. Around the summer of 2021, I felt it was the right time because I've heard, of course, there are people who it's because of the genuine love that they have for the sister, or the other way around, the sister for the brother. So, and I had prayed about it too, personally, to just feel that peace. And I felt that peace in my heart that she's my wife, you know, and the friendship that we had developed as well in spiritual ways too. I saw that she was also, you know, looking after me spiritually too, and we looking after each other. So that was something that also, it made me feel at peace with the decision to move forward with marriage. So I initiated the process with the marriage committee, and from there it took about a year of all the procedures and everything. And last year, June, we got married during the summer. Yeah.
So during that era of the procedure and the courtships, were there any times you kind of had any fear, doubts, cold feet?
Yes. Many
How did
times.
how did you, just with like maybe a sentence or two, how did you both individually handle that?
Okay, you want to mention some of the ones you had? Or like,
Well, for me, I was scared. I was scared because I knew I was about to make a decision that would change my life forever. I was scared because at some point I was developing feelings for another person, another brother. And it was weird because this other brother is also in the church. Will I say it's the devil trying to make me lose focus. I was having all these feelings. I was scared. I was also scared because at some point I record sometimes where maybe the way he talked to me on phone, sometimes when he's upset, I was like, oh, do I want to live with someone like that? Can I handle it? There were so many things that triggered fear in me. And also at some point, at that period, he lost his job. So it was also scary for me, even though I had faith that things will work out well. Even I was also encouraging him that don't worry, things will work out well. It took him almost like 6-7 months to 8 months to get another job. So I was so scared. I had to act in faith. And yeah, that's basically the fear.
So you got over those obstacles basically just by acting in faith and knowing that this is where the Lord is leading and where He guides, He provides.
Yes, and having also the assurance, it's funny, during those periods, when I hear the message from the GS, it was all about talking about obedience, just obey. Like, I think maybe it was just me. Throughout that period, all the messages that GS was preaching at that point was talking about obedience.
at that time, I thank God because I really drew into prayers, and I know we had times to pray together. And as well, I just kept having that faith and belief that I would get a job soon, because for the fact, when I actually reached out to the marriage committee, it was a concern for the marriage committee that I had no job, I had no stable source of income, and that's a big issue if you're trying to start a family. So I thank God because I was with that faith and peace in my heart, even though those were the situations. I was able to keep believing and praying and just focusing on the right things at that time, which was developing myself spiritually, emotionally. And by January of the year that I was now to get married, by God's grace, a job came, and it's really something that has been so good. The conditions, everything just took care of the wedding and all of that. So I'm so grateful because trusting God really, at that moment, made the way. I would have to be honest.
Amen. So what would you guys give as encouragement to people, because y'all are pretty young, right, that are in your shoes, and it looks like there is the availability of a partner, but the resources or the conditions don't seem right. What would be your words of encouragement to those individuals?
I'll just say one thing. First thing is there's no rush. I think that's the most important thing. God's time is always the best, and patience is what we need to have. So that when you get into marriage, there's also challenges. There's challenges for the rest of life, but you'll be ready.
And yourself?
Well, for me, one thing I would say is trust. I know people will be like, what do you mean trust? I've been trusting God. But trust God with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. Don't try to have control over everything. We don't have control over our life. God is the one that has the control over everything, even if you're trying to move in one direction and God sees that direction is not really the perfect way, He has the ability, He has the right to, maneuver everything and to reroute you into the right path.
Hold on to God. Trust in God. Have faith.
Love is amazing.
Love is amazing. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And action. So you're not holding hands or anything. Are you guys spicy? Because it's almost 1 year. At least to show.
It's as if we came for counseling.
We came for serious
Counseling.
So something
Okay,
like
Yeah, something like this. Correct. We now know that you're actually a married couple.
okay.
All right, here we go.
That's why no matter what, I will always love you. And when I'm on my knees, I will pray for you in every situation.